I was talking about those fairs, those carnival kind of things. When I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, my grandfather was involved with the state fair in Texas. And they had these shows, carnival shows, on the side of the midway. And they would have a little band play. And the band would start playing and the music would get loud and people would come and draw a crowd. And then they would sell them the tickets to go see the show. And I remember maybe 5 years old, looking up at this guy's playing saxophone, drummer, guitar player. I said, that's it. I was tricked right there. From then on, I knew when I was 5 years old, that was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. And so I became obsessed with drums. I wanted to be a drummer more than anything. And spent all my time looking at drums and finally got a drum, started playing. And then I found out that I couldn't sing and play drums at the same time. So I was the only one in the little 12-year-old group that had the nerve to sing. So I had to choose between playing drums or singing. So that's how I became a singer. And I was 12 or 13 years old. And I've been in a band almost that whole time for the rest of my life. I'm 66, 65 now. Well, early on, when I was still a kid, I would go into my parents' car, turn on the radio, and sit and listen to the radio in the dark by myself in the driveway of my house until they made me come in. And I listened to all kinds of music on the radio. Texas radio, they had broadcasts that came all the way from Mexico, and there was a lot of great music on Texas radio. And as far as blues goes, I was more influenced early on by soul music and naturally everything you could hear on the radio. As far as blues goes, maybe you would hear Ray Charles or Jimmy Reed or once in a while B.B. King, but not too much blues, real blues. And in those days, they didn't have big record stores where you could go find. All the record stores were family-owned, small record stores. And where I lived, it was segregated. No black people, no black record stores. And white people, they wouldn't have blues in their store. They didn't want it, they didn't sell it, they wouldn't have it. So it was hard in the beginning to find blues people until, I would say, in the late 60s or early 70s, then they had these big record stores, Tower Records, Warehouse, Sound Warehouse, big record stores, and they would carry blues music, and then you would find it. Otherwise, you would have to find someone with a car to take you to the other side of town to a music store to buy a blues record. So it was hard to find blues until I was in high school. Up until then, it was everything I learned was off the radio and mostly was Southern soul music. Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, all the High records and Stax records come out of Memphis on the radio in Texas. Well, of course, it's as a band leader or as the front man of a band, it's always more fun to play your own songs and choose what songs you play. And direct the band the way you want them to sound. As far as expectations and being here, I mean, of course it's a beautiful country, and I've only played one gig yet, so I'm hoping for a good reception, you know, on the other gigs that we play, and I think we're going to get it.